He's the voice that once shook stadiums and stirred hearts across the globe. But even legends face moments they cannot control. At 85, Tom Jones has started canceling concerts, officially blaming an upper respiratory infection. Yet a man who has commanded stages for 6 decades suddenly stepping back naturally sparks curiosity. How many shows does he have left? And what does life look like without the roar of an audience? Behind the headlines lie stories the world has rarely seen. A son he's never met sings for spare change outside a shelter. His wife of 59 years died suddenly from lung cancer, a tragedy kept secret from the public. Yet, even amid personal heartbreak, his voice, the one that first echoed from a sickbed in Wales at age 12, remains formidable, hitting notes few thought possible. Thomas John Woodward grew up like any other boy in Pontypridd until tuberculosis confined him to bed for 2 years. By the time he recovered, his voice had matured into a baritone so powerful that it startled everyone around him. Gospel and blues colored his early style, and by 16, he was a husband and father, still living in his family's modest terraced home, yet already too big for the town. In 1963, manager Gordon Mills discovered him, rechristened him Tom Jones, and launched him into the stratosphere. Hits followed in rapid succession, from UK chart toppers to the James Bond anthem Thunderball. By 1966, he held a Grammy and had charmed audiences on The Ed Sullivan Show. He met Elvis Presley, conquered Las Vegas residencies, and achieved global fame. But through it all, Linda, his lifelong partner, quietly remained in the background. While Tom filled arenas, racked up Grammys, and left Las Vegas fans in awe, Linda stayed home. From Pontypridd to London, then a Los Angeles mansion once owned by Dean Martin, she shunned the cameras and the stage. The career was his, she wanted none of it. As he performed 200 shows a year, she raised their son Mark and nurtured a private life running parallel to his fame. She could have walked red carpets or graced magazine covers, yet she chose invisibility. Even when Tom admitted publicly to hundreds of affairs, she remained steadfast, understanding, and loyal in ways few could comprehend. This wasn't submission. It was choice. She defined the terms of their marriage and held to them for 59 years. Tom often called her the only person who ever made him feel safe, a remarkable statement for a man adored by millions. Tom's secret life carried consequences. In 1987, an affair with a model produced a son, Jonathan. Tom denied paternity until a DNA test confirmed it in 1989. He paid support until Jonathan turned 18, then vanished. By 2018, Jonathan was homeless. Linda never spoke a word of it. Later, Tom found a different kind of stage on The Voice UK, 2012-2015. No sold-out arenas, no screaming fans, just living rooms and cameras. He coached contestants, earning the trust of viewers with decades of insight. Yet in August 2015, the BBC replaced him without warning, letting him learn secondhand that his time on the show was over. A stark reminder that even legends can be treated impersonally. That same month, Linda received the news she had long feared. Her cancer was terminal. She had survived it twice before, but this time, the doctors said there was no hope. Tom continued performing, as he always had, and because Linda demanded it. Behind the public smiles, a private tragedy unfolded. She was fading, week by week, while he maintained the illusion of normalcy. She set the rules. Do not cancel a single show for me. During this time, Tom released his autobiography Over the Top and Back, charting decades of music and fame. The book soared on bestseller lists, yet few readers knew that the woman central to every page was quietly dying nearby. On April 10, 2016, Linda passed away at 75. Tom sold the Los Angeles mansion and moved into a modest London apartment. He began grief therapy, confronting questions that had haunted him. Had he done enough? Was he there for her? For the first time, the man adored by millions had no easy answer. For 6 years, he carried on publicly, returning to The Voice UK, releasing new music, and touring. He shared only what grief he chose to reveal. His 2021 album, Surrounded by Time, confirmed that he had survived the darkest chapter of his life, emerging with both dignity and artistry intact. Then, on September 3, 2022, he unveiled a new song, I Won't Crumble With You If You Fall, penned in the years after her death. Every note was steady, every phrase precise, yet the music carried the immense weight of love, loss, and endurance. When it ended, the room was silent. No one expected the quiet, shattering power of what they had just witnessed. Tom Jones finally paused, a rare break for a man whose life has always been measured in encores and applause. On live television, for the first time in 6 years since Linda's death, he shared the words she left him. You can't crumble with me. Don't fall with me now. You've done everything you can. 6 years of private grief, carefully held behind a public mask, unraveled in a single moment before millions. The song he performed that night didn't soar because of melody or production. It soared because of truth. A man, finally, letting the world witness the walls he had spent decades building around himself. It shot straight to #1 on UK iTunes, proof that honesty resonates louder than fame ever could. It is 2025. Concerts have stopped. Tom Jones is 85. The official explanation, upper respiratory infection. The real story is more human. Some mornings, his once invincible voice refuses to obey. The same voice that rose from a sickbed in Pontypridd, that carried him to Caesar's Palace, Grammy stages, and millions of living rooms, is now aging. For 9 years, he has honored Linda's last instruction, keep going. And he did, through therapy, new albums, and that one night on television when everything cracked open. He followed her words as faithfully as he once followed a conductor's baton. Now, the question isn't whether Tom Jones will stop performing. He never truly stops. But whether his legendary voice will choose the moment to rest. His story remains layered. A son he has never met, a marriage of nearly 6 decades defined by contrasts invisible to outsiders, and a month in 2015 when personal catastrophe and professional setback collided. And yet, he returned to the stage because she told him to. In 2022, the final wall came down. His voice is softer now, but years later, when asked about Linda, he speaks 4 words. I think of her laughing. Not sick, not diminished, not absent, but laughing. The woman who vanished from cameras, stages, and public life lives on in memory through the sound of her happiness. Tom Jones is still here. His voice quieter, his steps slower, but inside him, she is still laughing, and he is still carrying on. At 85, Tom Jones's voice may be softer, but his legacy echoes louder than ever. Through grief, love, and decades on stage, he carries Linda's laughter, mentors new talent, and inspires generations. The stage may pause, but the music, the story, and the man behind the voice endure, timeless, unbroken. If you loved learning about the iconic stars of old Hollywood, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories, trivia, and all things vintage glam. Join the conversation in the comments below. Who's your favorite old Hollywood celebrity and why? Make sure to ring the bell so you never miss a new video on the golden era of cinema.